So good morning students. Today we'll go to the second unit, that is the poem The Schoolboy, and it is written by William Blake. And William Blake is one of the greatest English poets. He is a great visionary poet. See, visionary means he talks about some things which we can't physically see, just like heaven, angels and all that. So he is a visionary poet and also a social and religious revolutionary. He believed in the power of imagination behind the visible world of senses. Some of his notable illustrations are, he was also an engraver and a painter. He wrote two very important poems. They are the Songs of Innocence and the Songs of Experience. The Songs of Experience is our poem. The poem Schoolboy is taken from the Songs of Experience. The Songs of Innocence deals with the presence of divine love and understanding even in moments of love, sadness and despair. Now we'll just a short summary of the poem. The poem The Schoolboy is a fine lyric taken from William Blake's collection of poems, The Songs of Experience. The poem portrays the boy's joy in the midst of nature and the sorrow in the school amidst the books. He likes to enjoy the sweet company of the skylark and other birds and does not want to be like a bird in the cage. The child feels that the joy of spring is replaced by the sorrow and dismay of the school. So this is the short introduction about the poem. The speaker in the poem is a schoolboy. He loves to rise on a summer morn and when the skylark sings and the huntsman winds his horn and the birds sing on every tree. And going to school on a summer morning drives all joy away. Morn means morning. The children spend the day in sighing and dismay, in sorrow, under the authoritarian way of teaching. The schoolboy sits drooping and spends anxious hours. He does not take delight in the books and does not like the tiresome aspects of the school. The schoolboy, who is born for joy, cannot sit in a cage and sing. The child cannot droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring. The child addresses his parents and tells that the buds are nipped and the blossoms are blown away. The tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and dismay. When blasts of winter appear, so the summer fruits cannot be reaped, they cannot appear. What griefs destroy cannot be regained. On the whole, the schoolboy is not happy in the school where there is authoritarian way of teaching. He prefers to be in the midst of nature and enjoy the beauty of nature. So this is a bit short introduction and the short summary of the poem. Now we'll go to the text. We'll read the text and I'll explain about the text. The Schoolboy by William Blake. I love to rise on a summer morn. The schoolboy wants to get up on a summer morning when the birds sing on every tree. The birds are singing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn. The huntsman, the hunter, he blows his horn. See, it is not winds, it is winds. It's a verb. So winds his horn. And the skylark sings with me. As you know, skylark is a bird which always sings, like cuckoo and all that. So the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company. So the child wants to be in the midst of nature. He wants to get up on a summer morning when the birds are singing on the tree. The distant huntsman is winding his horn and the skylark is singing. So he wants to be in this company. He wants to get up happily. But to go to school on a summer morn, it drives all joy away. All the happiness goes away. Under a cruel eye outworn. This means the authoritarian way of teaching. The method of teaching there, the control, the discipline, that is called the cruel eye outworn. The little ones spend the day, the children, they spend their time in the school in sighing and dismay. Sighing, dukkha, and dismay, sorrow. So, they are not at all happy in the school. They spend the time in sighing and dismay. And then, at times, I drooping sit. Droop means bend agudu. And when you become tired, you just start bending your back, and then that is called as drooping. So, out of tiredness, the child sits drooping. So, next, then at times, I drooping sit. Because of tiredness, the child sits drooping and spend many an anxious hour. Just waiting, anxious hours. Nor in my book can I take delight. I can't take delight in the books also. Nor sit in the learning's bower. A lot of metaphors are there. See, learning's bower means school, the place of learning. Bower means a tower. So where we learn, that is the school. Worn through with the dreary shower, the dreary shower, the wearisome aspects of school, the difficulties which the child experiences. So sometimes the child sits drooping and spends many anxious hours and does not take in the delight in the books and does not want to sit in that school and worn through the dreary shower, wearisome aspects of the school. How can a bird that is born for joy? A bird is not supposed to be put in a cage. It is a free bird. Similarly, the child is born to be free. The schoolboy is free. How can he sit in a cage and sing? How can the bird sit inside the cage and sing? When the bird is put into the cage, it can't be happy. It can't sing. Similarly, the boy, when he is put into the school, how can he be happy? How can a child, when fears annoy, the child is full of fears and then annoy. So that creates a disturbance to him, annoys him. Then when annoy, but droop is tender wing. Tender wing means just their wings are growing, young age. Then that is drooping, tender age. And forget his youthful spring. Say, spring is a season of joy and happiness. Everybody is happy because a lot of flowers come. Spring season. It comes after the winter season. In the month of January, February, March and all that. So, how can the child be happy in such circumstances in the school? Oh, father and mother, parents. The child is addressing the parents. If buds are nipped and blossoms blown away. See, when a plant is growing and there is a bud, if you start nipping that bud, cutting that bud, how can there be flowers? And blossoms are blown away. And when there is some flowers, there is a strong wind and they blow away. And if the tender plants are stripped, and when small plants come, the small leaves, if you start cutting them, of their joy in the springing day, how can the plants grow. If the buds are nipped, the blossoms are blown away, and the tender plants are stripped, how can they grow? In a similar way, when a child is curtailed and put into the school, he is not happy at all. He is sorrow and cares dismay because of sorrow and dismay. How shall the summer arise in joy? See, after spring, summer starts coming up. How can the summer come? Or the summer fruits appear? How can the fruits appear? Because how shall we gather what griefs destroy? Because of grief. Grief means sorrow, dukkha. How the griefs destroy? Whatever is destroyed, how can it come again? Or bless the mellowing year. The year is just drying up, mellowing year, when the blasts of winter appear. So the winter is appearing, a heavy snowfall, the blast, and because of that, how can the summer bring out the fruits? It's a beautiful poem written by one of the greatest poets, that is William Blake. As I told you, William Blake is a visionary poet. He talks about many things, just about heaven, the angels and all that. Here also, he was a visionary and also an engraver and a painter. And in the beginning, his poems were not really accepted because it was of a revolutionary nature. But later on, they came to be recognized. And some of the biggest collections of poems, there are two are there. One is Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. In Songs of Innocence, he brings out the love and the happiness and all that. But in the Songs of Experience, he brings out all his experiences in this collection. And our poem, The Schoolboy, is taken from the second collection of poems, that is the Songs of Experience. So this is all about the poem. Just I'll go through the text again once more. The speaker is the schoolboy. You can see the children sitting at the school, and just the first boy is just sitting and as if he is not at all happy. So you can just see, observe. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn, and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company. So the schoolboy wants to get up on a summer morning when the birds are singing on every tree. The huntsman is winding his horn, making sound, blowing, and the skylark also singing. So the child wants to get up in such a company, sweet company. But to go to school on a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Going to school makes him unhappy. All the joy is gone. Under a cruel eye outworn. As I told you, it is the authoritarian way of teaching. And they are very strict. The British system, authoritarian way of teaching. The little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. The children, they are not happy. They spend the time in sighing and dismay. Then at times I drooping sit. This is the first one is sitting, bending and sitting. That is drooping sit. And spend many an anxious hour. See, many an anxious hour means many hours. It's a way of telling. Many a man means many men. Right? Many an anxious hour. Nor in my book can I take delight. I can't take interest in the book. Nor sit in learning's bower. I can't sit in the school. Learning's bower means the place of learning. And here that is the school. Worn through with the dreary shower. The schoolboy becomes tired by the weary aspects of the school. That is the dreary shower. How can the bird that is born for joy? And again it is a metaphor. The bird is representing the schoolboy. The bird is born free. How can it sing when it is put into a cage? Similarly, how can the boy be happy when he is put into the school? How can a child when fears annoy? So when school means the child fears, annoy. And but droop is tender wing and forget his youthful spring. As I told you, spring means happy season. So he is not at all happy. His wings are clipped, so he cannot fly. So he is not happy there. Oh father and mother, parents, if buds are nipped, when some plants they bring out the buds, the next stage is flowers. If you start cutting the buds itself, how can it bring out the flowers? If the buds are nipped, that means if the children are not happy, and blossoms blown away, and sometimes the flowers are blown away by wind, heavy wind. And if the tender plants are stripped, small plants, if they are cut of their joy in the springing season, by sorrow and care's dismay, how are they destroyed? How are they become unhappy? By sorrow and dismay. How shall the summer arise in joy? How can summer come in joy? Or the summer's fruits appear? How can summer bring out its fruits? Or how shall we gather what griefs destroy? Already our happiness, joy has been removed by griefs, by sorrows. Or bless the mellowing year. All the year is already mellowing, withering. When the blasts of winter appear, winter is appearing, lot of blasts of snow and winter, and in such cases, how can summer bring out its fruits? How can summer arise in joy? So the ultimate concept, the poem is that the poet wants to say that the schoolboy is not happy in the school, but where there is authority and way of teaching, he prefers to be in the midst of nature and enjoy the beauty of nature. So the text I have explained twice. So let us come to an important questions. So exam point of view, I'll discuss some questions which are not in the text also. So the first question is, what do birds do on a summer morn? What do the birds do on a summer morn? The birds sing on every tree on a summer morn. As you know, we have 1 mark questions, 4 mark questions and 6 mark questions. This is the pattern in course book. 1 mark means short answers. Actually, whatever is given here, comprehension 1, comprehension 2 and comprehension 3, they are supposed to be 1 mark, 2, 4 mark and 6 marks. But sometimes they vary. So comprehension 2 also has 6 mark questions and all that. So I'll just tell you the important questions. So the birds sing on every tree on a summer morn. Second one is, what does the sweet company refer to? What does the sweet company refer to? Here it refers to the company of birds, huntsman's horn and a skylark. There are 3 things here. The sweet company, the question number 2, just see, sweet company refers to skylark, huntsman's horn and the bird song. Answer is all the above. Third one is, when does the boy love to rise? When the boy wants to rise. The boy loves to rise on a summer morn when the skylark sings and the huntsman winds his horn. What drives the boy's joy away? Question number 3 in your text. What drives the boy's joy away? Going to school on a summer morn drives the boy's joy away. Going to school drives the joy away. What does a cruel eye outworn refer to? Cruel eye outworn. So this represents the authoritarian way of teaching in the school. Authoritarian way of teaching, and that means strict rules, strict discipline. That is authoritarian way of teaching. Then what does learning power refer to? What does learning power refer to? I told you, power means tower. Learning power means the place of learning. And here, the place of learning is the school. So, what does it refer to? It refers to the school. What does cage stand for in the poem? What does cage stand for? Here, cage means, again, it is the school only. The bird is put inside the cage. Similarly, the boys is put inside the school. Next, why can't the summer arise in joy? Why the summer cannot come? Because the blasts of winter has appeared. The blasts of winter has appeared. Question number 7, you just match the following. It is under column A, spring, summer, winter. So, spring, summer and winter. You can just match them. Spring represents childhood. Summer represents youth. And winter represents old age. So, and the second comprehension is long essay questions. Generally, the second question is asked. Describe the boy's experience in the school. Is an important question. I'll just discuss on that. Describe the boy's experience in the school. The school boy is a wonderful lyric taken from the Songs of Experience, a collection of poems written by William Blake, a great poet, painter and engraver. The boy wants to be in the sweet company of the birds singing on treetops. He enjoys the sweet company of the skylark and also the huntsman. He hates the authoritarian way of teaching in the school. That is the learning power in the school, which brings sigh and dismay. He dislikes the books and the learning power that is the school. He feels like a bird inside a cage. He is like a bird born for joy, but his fears droop his tender wings and make him forget his youthful spring. The parents nip the buds and the blossoms are blown away. The tender plants are stripped. They are stripped of their tendrils. The summer cannot arise. The summer cannot bring out the fruits because of the blasts of winter. The griefs destroy the joy and happiness of the boy, which he cannot get back again. The poem brings out a clear contrast between the joy and happiness of the boy in the midst of nature as opposed to the sorrow and dismay in the school. So this is generally a 4-mark question. Very important question is the second one. Next, one 6-mark question I will just deal. That is comprehension 3. Formal schooling not only takes away the joy of the childhood, but also hinders the child's growth forever. Explain. So this can be asked as a longer question. 6 marks means about 200 lines you have to write. So just I'll discuss about this. Again, you have to give introductions. The poem, The School Boy, is a fine lyric written by William Blake, one of the greatest visionary poets. Then he wrote all his experiences in the book, in the collection of poems called Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. In the first collection, Blake explains the presence of divine love and understanding in moments of love, sadness and despair. He had great religious visions from childhood and wrote all these experiences in the Songs of Experience. Our poem is taken from this collection, that is Songs of Experience. In this lyric, Blake considers that formal schooling curbs the children's freedom and joy and hinders their growth. The boy is happy with the nature and enjoys the company of birds, particularly the skylark, singing of the skylark. And going to school on a summer morn deprives him of his joy and happiness. His freedom is curtailed and is like a bird in the cage. He sits in the school in fear and anxiety and hates the authoritarian way of teaching. He dislikes the books and learning's power that is the school. The poet discourages formal schooling, which hinders the growth and development, and encourages informal schooling, informal learning. He advises the parents to give opportunities to their children to learn informally in the midst of nature. In today's modern world, formal schooling is imposed as soon as the child begins to speak and is forced to read books and learn them instead of spending time amidst nature. The poet concludes that formal schooling not only deprives the joy and happiness of the child, but also hinders the growth of the child. So it's a very nice poem and a small poem, and I have explained, given a short summary also, and explained short questions and long questions. And as I told you, every video there will be a questionnaire, about 10 questions of multiple choice. So you must answer them, and marks will be uploaded, and they will enter the marks in the college. So guys, don't neglect, and because when you come to the college, we will see all this, how many have attended, how many have listened to these videos, how many have answered and all that. So please do that. Okay, with this I'll close the today's lesson. Thank you.